single black dad drives his drunk boss home after the company party. When she wakes you, beginning. The night sky over New Avalon shimmered with artificial stars, satellites, drones, and orbital transports weaving their trails of silver against the dark. Down on the streets of Sector 12, the neon haze of corporate towers painted the sidewalks in restless color. Music thumped from the lavish rooftop of Cinertech Industries, where the company had just wrapped up its annual gala. For most employees, it was a chance to drink, network, and pretend they weren't working 80-hour weeks for an omnipresent megacorp. For Marcus Carter, it was just another job. Marcus, 36 years old, single father, and one of the few black employees in the mid-level ranks of Cinertech, kept to himself most nights. He was a project coordinator, someone who made sure the engineers, AI designers, and roboticists hit deadlines. Not flashy work, but steady enough to keep his daughter fed, clothed, and in a good school. He had planned to skip the gala, but then his daughter Lena, wise beyond her 12 years, had insisted. "Dad, you can't just work and come home every day," she'd said. "If you want a promotion, people need to see your face." So he went. He wore the same gray suit he'd worn to interviews for the past decade, sipped on a single glass of Sint wine, and stood by the balcony, quietly observing. That was when he saw her, his boss, Evelyn Rourke. She was the youngest executive in Cinertech history, a woman with icy composure and a reputation for being merciless. She cut deals with alien trade federations, approved projects worth billions, and had once fired an entire department over a missed deadline. Employees called her the Ice Queen behind her back. But tonight, Evelyn was drunk. Not tipsy, drunk. Marcus had seen her stagger near the bar, slurring her words to a group of bewildered investors. It was strange, seeing someone usually so precise come undone. And it became his problem when her personal assistant whispered to him, "Mr. Carter, she trusts you. Could you make sure she gets home safely? She doesn't like staff seeing her like this." Marcus blinked. "Me? Why me?" But the look of desperation in the assistant's eyes told him everything. No one else wanted to risk it. "All right," Marcus sighed. "I'll drive her." Minutes later, he was half supporting Evelyn down to his modest ground car, her designer heels clicking unevenly against the pavement. You're not my chauffeur," she muttered, her voice thick with liquor. "No, ma'am," Marcus said, keeping his tone respectful but firm. "But I don't think you want a board seeing you like this." Evelyn groaned but said nothing, slumping into the passenger seat. Marcus started the car, neon lights reflecting on the windshield as they slid into New Avalon traffic. He thought it was just going to be a quiet drive. He was wrong. Middle. Halfway to her high-rise apartment, Evelyn stirred. Her hand fumbled across the dashboard, her eyes half-lidded but burning with something wild. "Pull over," she whispered. Marcus frowned. "Excuse me." "Pull over." Against his better judgment, Marcus guided the car into an empty side street beneath a flickering hollow advert. Evelyn sat up, her voice slurring but urgent. "They'll be watching my tower," she said. "The board, the auditors, all of them." "Ma'am, you're drunk," Marcus replied carefully. But then Evelyn grabbed his wrist. Hard. Her grip was trembling, but her eyes were suddenly sober. Marcus listened. "They're going to kill me." The words hung in the air like a shard of glass. Marcus stared. "What?" "They know I found it," she whispered. Her lips were pale, trembling. "Project On. Hidden in the black budgets. It's not ours, it's alien. And if they know I'm not under control." Her head dropped suddenly against his shoulder, unconscious once more. Marcus sat frozen. The neon ad overhead flashed again, its glowing letters shifting into a luxury brand slogan. What the hell was that? For a long moment, Marcus considered driving straight to her tower, dropping her off, and washing his hands of this. But then he pictured the way her voice had cracked, the fear in her eyes. And he thought about Lena, his daughter, who believed her father stood up for what was right. With a heavy breath, Marcus changed course. Instead of heading for the glittering spire of Evelyn's apartment, he steered toward the outskirts of the city, toward the safe house his late brother had used during the resistance years. The safe house was a rundown storage unit in Sector 9, hidden among warehouses and drone depots. Marcus had never planned to come back here, but it was secure, off-grid, and away from corporate eyes. He laid Evelyn on a cot and waited for her to stir. Hours passed. When she finally woke, it wasn't the hungover executive that looked at him. It was a woman carrying the weight of a galactic secret. Her voice was hoarse but steady now. "You shouldn't have brought me here. You told me people were trying to kill you," Marcus said quietly. "So maybe you can explain before I regret this." Evelyn sat up slowly, rubbing her temples. Then she leaned forward. "Cinertech found something," she whispered. A derelict ship, not just alien precursor, from before human records. They pulled something out of it. A machine. A seed. Marcus frowned. A seed? Project Dawn, she continued. It can rewrite biology, grow new life, entire ecosystems in hours. But the board, they don't want to share it. They want to weaponize it, to create soldiers that can't die. Marcus felt a chill crawl down his spine. And I wanted to shut it down, or at least slow it. But I dug too deep. They realized I knew. Tonight, the gala wasn't just a party. It was a test. They were watching me. If I showed weakness, they'd move. She looked him dead in the eye. And now you're in this too. Marcus exhaled slowly, rubbing his face. He was just a single dad, trying to raise a daughter in a city built on greed. He didn't want conspiracies, alien tech, or assassination plots. But life didn't ask what he wanted. A low hum broke the silence. The sound of a drone swarm. Marcus froze. Evelyn's eyes widened. They found us. The first drone sliced through the roof of the warehouse, its red optic scanning. Marcus grabbed Evelyn's arm and yanked her toward the back exit. Can you run? Do I have a choice? She snapped. They bolted through the maze of crates as plasma bolts scorched the walls. Marcus remembered the hidden tunnel his brother had built, a smuggler's path that led out to the river canals. He shoved Evelyn inside, sealing the hatch behind them as drones swarmed above. The tunnel stank of mold and stagnant water, but it was safe, for now. Panting, Evelyn leaned against the wall. Why are you helping me? Marcus thought of Lena again. Because if they get away with this, it's not just you. It's all of us. Evelyn stared at him, something unreadable flickering in her expression. For the first time, she didn't look like the Ice Queen. She just looked human. Ending. They reached Marcus's apartment by dawn. Lena was already awake, clutching her school tablet, her eyes wide when she saw her father dragging in the CEO of Centertech. Dad? It's complicated, baby. Marcus said gently. This is Ms. Rourke. She needs our help. Lena, sharp as ever, simply nodded. Then we help. For the next few days, the apartment became their refuge. Evelyn hid behind Marcus's modest walls, working on an encrypted datapad to expose Project Dawn. Marcus cooked meals, kept Lena calm, and stood guard whenever strange vehicles passed outside. Slowly, the dynamic shifted. Evelyn went from being his boss to being something else. She washed dishes beside him, listened when Lena showed her school projects, and even laughed awkwardly, as though she hadn't done it in years. But the danger never went away. On the fifth night, Evelyn finished her upload. The data's gone public, she whispered. Every major news net has it. They can't bury this anymore. Marcus let out a long breath. Relief, pride, and fear. Because minutes later, the door burst open. Corporate enforcers in black armor stormed the apartment. Marcus shoved Lena behind the couch and stood firm. Evelyn, to his shock, stepped in front of him. No, she told the soldiers. You want me, not them. The commander sneered. Too late for that. And then something impossible happened. The air shimmered around Evelyn, her veins glowing faintly with golden light. She gasped, clutching her chest. It's the seed, she whispered. They use it on me. Before Marcus could react, her body released a pulse of energy that flung the enforcers backward like ragdolls. Her eyes glowed bright amber. Marcus shielded Lena, staring in disbelief. Evelyn, what are you? She looked back at him, tears streaming down her cheeks. I didn't know. I thought I was just human. But they must have tested it on me months ago. That's why they were watching me. The soldiers scrambled, but Evelyn raised her hand. The ground cracked, sprouting vines of golden bioluminescent roots that wrapped around the enforcers, immobilizing them. When it was over, she collapsed. Marcus caught her before she hit the floor. Stay with me, he begged. Her voice was faint. Marcus, take care of Lena. Whatever happens to me, don't let them win. But she didn't die. Weeks later, the galaxy reeled from the revelations. Project Dawn was dismantled under interstellar oversight. Centertech's board was arrested, and Evelyn Rourke, part human, part something more, disappeared from the public eye. For Marcus, life went on. He still made breakfast for Lena, still walked her to school. But sometimes, late at night, he'd catch the faint shimmer of golden light outside his window, like a guardian watching from the shadows. Lena asked once, Do you think we'll see her again? Marcus smiled softly. I think she'll come back when she's ready. And deep down, he knew it was true, because Evelyn Rourke had been left vulnerable, drunk and alone after a company party. But when she woke up, the world itself had changed, and so had they.